Today we're talking about the Slate Digital Transient Shaper module, which exists in the VMR plugin. So if you want to know what this thing sounds like, what it can do, how to use it, stick around after this introduction. Welcome everybody, I'm Dan Spencer, and I am the Audio Sorcerer. So this is the channel where I teach you how to perfect your audio recording, mixing, and mastering skills. So if you want to improve upon any of those skills, get the latest product reviews, and even learn about music business, then make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I have new videos coming out. So without further ado, today we are talking about the Slate Digital Transient Shaper module, which, as mentioned, is in the VMR plugin that stands for Virtual Mix Rack. So a transient shaper basically affects the attack and the sustain of a sound. So you can make a sound more punchy, you can make it more sharp, or you can smooth it out. So that's like the basics of a transient shaper. And if you want to learn more about a transient shaper, check out my video popping up in the top right corner now. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to go over the user interface of the plugin, and I'm going to teach you what all the parameters do so you know how to, use this and hit the ground running. And then we're going to demo it on a kick drum and then also a synth part. So that should give you a pretty good idea of what this plugin can do. All right. And if you like this plugin, I do have a link in the description below. And if you guys are interested in showing any support for this channel, consider getting a super thanks, which is also below. Or you can also buy an official Audio Sorcerer t-shirt, which is on the store shelf below this video. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's get further into today's topic. Let's talk more about the Slate Digital Transient Shaper module. All right, so here we are in Pro Tools, and I have the Slate VMR open along with the Transient Shaper module. So this module is a nice bright yellow color, so it's very hard to miss in the list of modules within the VMR. So what I want to do in this portion of the video is go over the user interface of this module so that you know how to use it and what all the parameters do. So starting with the transient section here, we have the transient knob. So this is either going to increase or decrease the attack time. So if we increase this transient knob here, we're going to get a much sharper sound. And then if we reduce it, we're going to get a much smoother sound. And this effect only affects the transients that are detected within the sound, okay? Now, beneath that, we have the warmth knob, which allows you to add saturation to those transients. And then beneath that, we have the focus range, which allows you to set the actual frequencies that are being affected by this transient effect. Now, beneath that, we have our sustain section, and this allows you to increase the sustain or decrease the sustain that is on the sound, and that is simply done with this knob right here. And then we also have a focus range setting for the sustain effect. And then beneath that, we can stereo link this plugin. We have a time knob here, which allows you to adjust the length of the transient to be processed. So this will also affect the sustain time, so keep that in mind. And then we have this cool little button here that allows you to actually listen to strictly the transient. You can listen strictly to the sustain, and then the out will let you hear the plugin as a whole. And then beneath that, we have the safety clip option, which will make sure that this plugin is not clipping your sound. We have a makeup gain knob here. And then lastly over here, we have a mix knob, which allows you to use this plugin for parallel processing, okay? So that's pretty much all the parameters that you need to know within this plugin. So let's get to the listening portion of this video, and you can hear how I'm using this on a kick drum and also a synth track. All right, so it was a subtle effect, but we did get a little bit of a clearer kick sound with definitely some more attack and punch on it. So as you can see here, I did increase the transient knob here to get a sharper sound. I did add some minimal saturation because we don't need a lot of saturation on a kick. And then I pulled back the sustain because we don't really want sustain on a kick most of the time, and especially not in this type of music, which is more beat based, okay? And then pretty much everything else I left as is, and that was what created the sound that you heard there. So now let's listen to the synth part, and you can hear what I did with that. All right, so as you can hear, we got a much more sharp and punchy synth sound, and that of course was achieved by increasing the transient knob right here, and then also by decreasing the sustain knob just a little bit. And then I also cranked up the saturation here, and that really made this synth cut through the mix that much more. And that's it. That's all I did with this here to get the sound that you're hearing. So now you know what this can do for a kick drum and then also a synth. So the question is, how are you going to use it in your music? All right, so there you have it. That was my review / tutorial on the Slate Digital Transient Shaper module. So really, it has, a couple pros to it. I would say that the fact that, it actually just sounds good, that's definitely a pro. But secondly, having that, frequency range is kind of unique to this plugin. So it's kind of cool that you can just affect a specific frequency range. Now, I would say the biggest con, there's really only one, is that you don't get a graphical representation of what this is doing to the transient. So a lot of other transient plugins do that. So I kind of wish this one had that in it, but I kind of get it because this is more like a piece of hardware in a rack. So it doesn't really have that space to really show that. So I get it. Anyway, if you guys end up liking this video and you want this plugin, there is a link in the description below. Give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. And if you guys enjoyed the content in this video, check out my little video on the dynamic duo of vocal compressors, which are both Slate compressors. So with that being said, until the next time, I will see you guys later and peace out.